guys, it's Jessica from Audacity, and I am so excited. We are having part 2 with my friend Jermell Powell, poet and host of the Smart Dumb podcast. Welcome back, Jermell.
I appreciate that. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
Definitely appreciate getting to come back. For that second time for that part two.
Absolutely. We spent a lot of time in the last episode talking about your work as a poet. So what I really want to get our audience into is your work as a podcaster. Because everybody think everybody and their mama got a podcast now. So tell us about the Smart Dumb podcast. What is it? First of all, where can we find it? And what's it all about?
All right, definitely. So, yes, the Smart Dumb podcast. It started, I think, 5 years ago. Yeah, so I've been off and on. Off right now, but I think I'm going ahead and trying to like stack, content, and I'm going to begin or resume at the beginning of November. At this point, you can find it basically everywhere that you would go. So it's hosted on Anchor, but it's connected on Apple Podcasts and Google service and Spotify. Now that Spotify, acquired Anchor and quite a few others. So yeah, if it's a place you like to look at your podcast and you're looking for me, first of all, thank you. And if I'm not found, please let me know. You know what I mean? Let me go fix that too. Um, yeah. So what is it? Where is it? Where did it go? I think or where can you find it? So when I first started, it was really a location just for me to kind of express what I felt. So I always knew, like I always know, I have like a fairly unique perspective on things. Maybe like I'll agree with a lot of people on a topic right up until I don't, and then turn left. So it's not always like everybody else thinks something. It's just like it's not always one way with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to, I thought this was a good, avenue to kind of express that. Um, Organically, I had my first interview with a friend of mine, and then I realized that was the way because I've done this podcast, yeah, I'm a poet, but I don't really want to hear myself talk for 30, 40 minutes.
Right. And it's not
You know what I mean?
entertaining that way either, really.
Yeah,
Like just one person just rambling for half an hour. It's
right.
like going to a sermon.
Right.
Like,
And it's not easy. Like anybody that does like to do that, that's hey, because it's then I have to figure out like how do I keep like, well, okay, well, what's next and what do I start? It's a lot easier to kind of keep that conversation flowing with it's back and forth or a group of people. So happy to have transitioned to mostly interviews to the point where I actually do feel like there's a couple kind of individual little ideas that I have just because I haven't done one of those in years, literally. And I'll
yeah.
probably do one, two, three, and then I'll be like, yep, right back to interviews.
So what topics do you guys cover on the podcast? Because going off of it, just like the name is very catchy and makes me want to know more. So like what kind of podcast is this? I'm guessing we're not watching true crime here. Um, so what's happening?
Right. Now that's a great question. It's like, on one hand it was like the title would have been nice to just be very clear what it is. But on the other hand, I did I do like that, somebody hears that and they're like, tell me
Hmm.
more. Yeah, at first when it was the individuals, it was, be kind of, what was going on. Like I feel like I had a pretty interesting professional career story, the ups and the downs, a lot of downs at that point. That's the one I plan to do more is like, oh, things turned the corner since that, so what are the, what is the story to update there? Just let's see, what else did I, it was, yeah, just kind of what I felt like, covering that I felt like I had enough to speak on. When I shifted over to primarily interviews, these are typically some kind of entrepreneurs or subject matter experts. So I just, and that even included other podcasters. So, just what is your story that led you to whatever it is that you do? I had, like I said, absolutely no problem when I'm speaking to somebody else who also does interviews, like, just kind of picking their brain, but also for the listening audience. So things for me to learn, and also things, the perspective to share with the next person. So yeah, these days, you're going to get more of those. As we spoke on, a few months ago, you're going to be one of those guests very soon. So that's exactly what that conversation would be like.
Nice. And like I like how it gives the idea that like none of us are experts in anything. We're smart at some things and dumb at others. So dumb is also a relative term and so is smart, but
Right.
I'm sure you knew all that when you were thinking about the name and everything. So
Glad you pointed that out. Like, I feel like that was a good term, or a good title to use, so to
mhm.
keep myself in check. Because when I have
Yeah.
a strong opinion, I'm going to give that strong opinion. But I
Right.
also, in the same vein, you'll get me to humble myself back down. You know what
Right.
I mean? So that's another good, that's where title matched perspective or topic.
Yeah. And it's like that reminder too that like opinion doesn't equal a knowledge. And neither
Right.
does a podcast, honestly. Like I feel like there are so many podcasts out there with self-proclaimed experts in whatever the topic may be.
Right.
And I'm just like, okay, live from your mama's basement, telling people how to date. Like, I want to know how this works. I want to know how this works. So I like that you are one of those podcaster who is inherently coming in and saying, hey, like, yeah, I have an opinion and everything. That being said, so does everybody else. And, we can all learn from each other and make it a conversation instead of a confrontation. I feel like some of these podcasts are very like, ugh, now. Like, it's just, right.
Right.
Oh.
That whole, and it's funny to see people, to see people observe social media, and how the
Mhm.
reality of it is controversy sales,
Yeah.
and dive in that, and just
Right.
look forward to every other, like, even to the point of forcing it,
Right.
because yeah, that's how we got to get our clicks and our views. And it's like, nah,
Mhm.
I've been, I'm willing to build it as slow as it needs to be. It's gradual for people who want to see the content and not looking for the 15-second clip to be viral, which is normally a
Right.
dude talking crazy about what somebody, what women need to do so they can earn, what I mean, so they can earn the
A high
man.
value man.
Okay. Which is, yeah, oh my God,
Oh Lord, we gonna get on
right,
tangent with that one.
good, because that's one thing. That's a very
Yeah.
big, like, there's no respect over here for Kevin, so like none, and it's always, and that's a very polarizing conversation. And it's like, I'm far from a simp, but like that dude was not the dude that I needed, to speak for me.
No.
I don't really need anybody to speak for me personally.
Yeah, well, the way I
But
see it, and like, I don't want to dive too deep into that because I don't even want to give homie that kind of like space on our platform
facts.
because this is a positive space. But with all that being said, like, you can't be a polarizing figure on the mic and then be shocked when you receive polarized backlash from the other side of that polarity. That being said, you wouldn't have caught me calling into this man's podcast to talk about how wrong he was because you're still giving it traction in that way. But yeah, it's interesting because, okay, so since you are not participating in that polarizing clickbait viral, like, if we just all fight on here, then people are going to listen or people are going to watch. What is your strategy instead, if you don't mind telling us? What is your strategy for creating an authentic audience?
Right. Yeah, no, and I'm missing out too, because as of the recording of this, like the whole, the Boston Celtics coach and Nia Long thing, like that's happening, like that just happened 24
Oh,
hours
that's a
ago.
whole
So
mess.
like,
Whole mess.
like,
That's a whole
why don't I
mess.
just, sit down? But I to answer your question, it's I've just, especially when I recognize, when I switched over to that lane and I'm interviewing other people, it's like, oh, y'all have, like, I'm impressed. I'm impressed by what these guests are accomplishing and what they're doing, and I'm very confident somebody else is as well. And I'm not aiming for, I need it to be. I'm not aiming for how many people are
Right.
involved. The funny thing, um, I think this was 2 or 3 weeks ago. All of it, I'm just working, right? And all of a sudden, my colleague hits me up, and we both, we have some open, some spoken word synergy, some other like kind of, he likes video games as well. But all of a sudden, he's like, "Bro, I'm searching through, and all of a sudden, I came across your podcast. Like, you're incredible. I obviously did not make that for him. I might have to block you."
Okay.
But I appreciate that. Like, and it's so like that's been happening really over the past year or two. Like,
Hmm.
people have friends have randomly just hit me. Oh, I listened to this one and that one, and like multiple ones.
Yeah.
So I think that then leads over to, okay, the content is cool. Now I need to do so. Just because I'm not jumping out of the window to get attention does not mean I don't need to be doing better with, just the clip, just the marketing, just to get
Right.
exposure. So don't get too
Hmm.
far in that. Oh, I'm not doing just anything for attention. I'm doing nothing to get
Right.
to get eyes over. So that's just the fact that it is like it's doing this without me going super far to bring eyes over and bring people over. So it's the formula is working, and I think that's where, although I haven't been very super consistent for 5 years, I have learned over
Hmm.
5 years. So just yeah, just taking. That's kind of something I have a little bit, that somebody that hasn't started yet is just, yeah, I've done trial and error, and will continue to do so.
Right. Throw some at the wall till it stick.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Nice. So, what would you say? Because, like you said, you've been doing this now for 5 years on and off, and you've had these various, like, experts on certain topics or people who are also interested in learning topics the way that you are. What would you say? Who or what would you say has been your favorite topic or guest so far?
Mm, okay. One of my so two that stand out are like a couple other people who have done podcasts. So one is my good friend Kenton Macon. His is making a difference. Making MAKIN a difference. Definitely
Hmm.
encourage y'all to check him out. He's heavily skewed into politics, but is me and him have the strong sports connection. So it's like you can get some of that in political, just social commentary is
True.
what actually a better term in politics. I had a very fun interview with a group of three ladies who all went to FAMU along with me, and they have their podcast. And this is what happens. My mind is too many things going on. I can't remember the podcast right now. But that was like in the past year, 2 years. So it won't be hard to find that. But yeah, there was just yeah, it was controlled chaos. Like we're
Mm.
all done this before, but like yeah, like when I'll make a point, we throw it over to this person. They know,
Right.
she knows the story, but she was telling, oh, you forgot to. So it was just a lot of fun there. I did a breathwork interview with just one of the, that's been fun actually. A couple times, either I just jump on, LinkedIn or some other, a fellow, a podcast kind of Facebook group, and just people that don't know each other at all, but I'm a host. You looking for, I'm looking for a guest. You a guest, and it just
Right.
reveals. And the interview looks like we've, connected for a while, and we might have just, set up the baseline like you and I did, and 5 minutes
Right.
prior to hitting record. But those are like, man, who would have thought? Like, who I would have never interacted with this person had I not, or at least, this is the way that got me there. Maybe there's some other, divine way, but this is the way, and I didn't see it coming, but wow, what a fun ride! That's definitely, those are highlights that stand out.
Well, it's something about chemistry on the mic too. Like some folks, like I don't know. I always tell people like when you have like just like a certain kind of business chemistry, then certain things are just possible. So like you might not have the same vibe with somebody on the mic as you would with somebody on stage, or like might not have the same vibe with somebody like sitting on a panel at a convention like you would, I don't know, working together like at a pop-up shop or something like that.
Right.
So it's The collaborative spirit of podcasts. Oh gosh, I think I heard my 3-year-old across the hall run down my hallway right now. I don't know if they might pick that up, but in case it does. Um, but yeah, like it's always great to like have a platform that helps to bring people together, like whatever the topic or the opinion may be. So that's cool that that's like your favorite thing about it, is that like the collaborative spirit, because it sounds like y'all had like a whole panel on the podcast.
Right.
So
Right. That was fun. I don't know if I hosted. I think I was a guest, and I think we were up to like 5 or 6. It actually was leaning towards a dating conversation. I was a guest. And yeah, that was not controlled chaos. It still had its fun moments, but like yeah, that was like oh my god. So yeah, no, the panel, and I think that's cool too, the variety that presents itself, because yeah, there's none of those are the same. Like
right,
a solo episode is definitely not the same as any more than one, and then two of us is not the same as five at all. And then like you said, then no two interactions are the same. So
right,
my conversation with this individual, your conversation with me, and then somebody else that might bring me as a guest, like those are probably
right.
completely different, different things for sure.
Would you say that, I don't know, would you say that you prefer like a bigger group of guests to just one versus going solo, or just whatever works?
Yeah, no, my sweet spot's definitely the two. Yeah, yeah. I'll even situationally rank the group
Yeah,
over, what I'm saying, the solo. Like if I absolutely, that's where it is now. Unless I absolutely have something pressing and I'm like, this is what I want to talk about, and I don't really
right,
see no, reason to bring. And it's not going to happen often, as far as the solo. But yeah, for the most part, that's as we go into the remainder of the year and the next year, it's going to keep being like reaching out to people. What do what is it that, where's your passion? What do even a general topic that I know we both have, a vested interest.
right.
I did an episode with the homie who I was the guest on for that 6-person group, and we actually talked about the Oscar, the Oscar slap or whatever. And so
Oh,
yeah,
that's the first thing I thought when you said the Oscars. I was like, oh no,
yeah,
the
yeah,
Oscars.
yeah, that was
Oh.
yeah. That was before. Right, again, without diving in, that was before.
Nope, that's another rabbit hole.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna name this episode, Avoiding Rabbit Holes. Avoiding rabbit holes, recognizing what are the signs of a rabbit hole, hot topics.
Right.
Um,
Right.
hot
You got to do one of your reels where it's like find a voiceover that fits, but like we're just about to head that direction. Nope,
right.
you're turning
When
right.
you see a rabbit hole, but you're trying to not jump down it, I like that
Right.
boulder. That is a nice boulder.
There you go.
The
There you
boulder's
go.
over here. The rabbit hole's over here.
Exactly. Exactly. No, that's
Whew. Well, with all that being said, I mean, it looks like you're about to be busy again. What can we expect for, I guess, do you call them seasons? I think
right.
so.
Right. I previously hadn't, but I decided this year to name it a season. So yeah, with this clear break between what I was doing earlier in the year and what's about to come in November, yeah, that'll be a new season. I think I'm calling it 5. Like I just kind of went in the past and was like, how many how many relative breaks did I do? So,
Well,
so
season five is when stuff gets interesting. That's when the writers are like, you know what? It's time for us to just throw some shit in here.
exactly.
So,
But it's like usually we're trying to wrap it up on season 5, and it's a coin flip. Have we, like I think Power did all right. I just finished Ozark. That was low key season 4 with 2 parts. That was season 5. But then you have some other shows that 5 was, yeah, you went too long. So we'll try to we'll try to. I'm more getting started, you know what I mean, because it wasn't 10 to 20 episodes on my other seasons, you know what I mean. We ramping up, but like yeah, for sure by 5, whatever it is, you're in your comfort. Hopefully, you identify right. You
Yeah, like
identify
you in it. Like
what
you should
yep.
know what's going on now by season 5. We still don't know what's going on. We need to question like, if you need to move over to the CW where they keep shows but that they don't know what's going on. Oh God. I'm an actor and I hope the CW actually never sees this. I might not want,
Right.
they might not want to
Oh,
hire me now.
oh, you too
God.
good for CW? All
The
right.
CW knows how to keep a show going though. Like Jane the
Uh,
Virgin was my absolute favorite. Like when they hit season 5, it was time. Like they did wrap it up and did the right thing by finishing it at season 5. Like because you can only keep up crazy for so long, but still, like they know how to keep a show going. That is also positive. CW, if you ever want to hire me,
right. It's
I
you can
promise.
put
I promise. I'm.
right. Don't put the joke as a clip. They're gonna have to find it, watch the whole episode to find it. Put the positive compliment in the clip, in the reel. That's how
Exactly.
you do that.
Exactly. Like this will be great. Like I love the CW.
Nobody, that was not
Oh
you are
God.
you act very well. It's fun to watch you perform. That was not nobody believed what you just said.
No.
That was not that's not
No.
your father's
Can
like
you tell it's only funny when I'm reading a script? Like it only lands when I didn't write it. So
that's funny. Nah, or when you buy into and believe what you just said. But
right.
I'm not gonna put you out there. That's cool. She loves CW, y'all.
We do. We do. I do love Jane the Virgin now. I will go on a battlefield for Jane the Virgin all day. One of my favorite shows of all time. Beautiful. One of the only shows that will make me cry and split my sides at the same time. Love a good dramedy.
Nice,
But
nice.
anyway, we that this turned into a rabbit hole, CW rabbit hole. So, but look, I am confident that your season 5 is going to be like a good season 5. Like this is not a season 5 where I expect you to be like, okay, and this will be the final season of the Smart Dumb podcast. I want like 5 more seasons.
All right, now we're going for it. Yeah, this is. I mean, I'm shooting for like even the plan. Like I said, I'm starting now, trying to put content together. That's also an interesting one. I have you know connected with other podcasters who have done this way longer, way more successful. And what I appreciate is there's a lot of people out here who are very open. And I think it's one of those match energies. Like they
Mm-hmm.
see I'm definitely here to learn, trying,
Yeah.
not here to just, to disrespect the culture. So I've gotten a lot of, support and advice. And one of those things is try to have something weekly. Easier said than done for sure.
Yeah.
The way around it is even repeats, or just again, not be live, not be trying to like,
Yeah.
okay, this is every Wednesday I'm live, or I just recorded last Wednesday and I have a week to turn it around,
Right.
because one time it's no problem and another time work is crazy. So
Right.
all that to say, I don't know though. I don't know if yeah, there's ideal is ideal, but if I'm trying to force a week and then I burn out, then
Then it's
now
not
it's
good
been
content anyway. You
three,
don't want to get
four,
it.
yeah, now it's
Yeah,
been
that's
three,
fair.
4 months.
I mean, what is that cleaning process like? Because I know with our content and stuff, we have a content planner
Hmm.
for social media, for our editorial, all that. We have like an actual content calendar that we keep together. So for podcasting, I'm guessing it's something similar, but do you guys do you batch create your content as well? Like, do you record like multiple sessions and then put them out in waves, or how's that work?
Yeah. So basically, so yeah, the recording, as far as like typically, usually, you know, if I'm meeting with somebody, it's for one episode at that time. Like in the past, I definitely have spoke with somebody for an hour and a half, and then I will part one, part two that.
Hmm.
I don't we'll see. I'm not gonna do that on purpose. If
Right.
it organically reaches that, that's cool. So yes, I'm trying to link up with that person, let them know, hey, it's actually probably gonna come out around this time, but like don't
Hmm.
if you want to get together sooner, as many times as possible. And then yes, it's the yeah, like for example, Anchor / Spotify, like you can set up the video audio and or video, and then put it published. The sooner I get the raw, footage and then edit it how I want it, it's ready to go. Cool. Now I can, have them. This one's on this day and this one's on this day. I
Yeah.
do try to post on Wednesdays, whether it's every other or every Wednesday. It's going to be Wednesdays when I start, when I resume. And yeah, just try to have it so much out in advance. And the thing I want to start doing, if we're having the episode and I can tell like, oh, this was a great point, that'll be, nice little 30-second, 60-second for the promo, or it was funny, I'll try to note it then. But if I don't, I'll also, as I go through, like, okay, 2 minutes and 30 in, 4 minutes and 70, and 7 seconds in, right, and try to do those. So like that's the layered work. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this anyway. So if I can kind of, the more I do the first go round, like there's only so many times I'm gonna keep watching 50-minute episodes, especially being like I don't like watching myself, to be, I know there's value in it now, but I'm not vain. That doesn't. So yeah, but there's a necessary. It's not even evil, but there's something you can gain from doing that.
Right. So that being said, since you don't particularly like having to rewatch your own stuff, how often do you rewatch? And like, are you, because like you said, you say that you take value from it and everything. So how often do you watch your episodes back? Like, what is the Jermell standard before you're ready to put it out to the universe?
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's for the editing purposes once. You know what I mean? Like for the editing purposes is one time. And I think, I used to be super real OCD when it was just audio, but it's easier to just let things rock in video, because if I was super, and it would just be glitching, and it's like that ain't
right.
So unless something just absolutely has to cut out, I'm gonna just let it, just let it rock and it be what it is. That's one of the things I learned, is like there's a way to overdo, you can over and over and mine is, I'll say that a million times if I don't really have the thought together. But if a couple of those we are still humans having a human conversation, right?
It's not like a script, yeah.
Right, exactly. So what I will start doing between now, this month and a half, is I actually am going to really rewatch them. I might not have to as much, because there's actually at least 4 episodes where I have 5 or 6, hey, you should clip this, and I just haven't. So I might not have to redo it. I did the notes, I just got to go find that and put it together. But like, it will make more sense to start watching it more, just to maximize how many things I get out. And that way, the Smart Dumb Podcast account on IG, that can, just because I'm only posting episodes 1 or 2 weeks, doesn't mean I can't have lined up every 2 or 3 days.
Right.
It was the latest thing, here was the latest thing. Or even when I don't want to make a whole episode out of something, a topic, hit it real quick. That was for social media. So just try to just be smart. Yeah, like there's a purpose behind it now. So it makes sense to invest some more time and look into it a little bit more.
Right. Try and be smart about the Smart Dumb Podcast.
Look at that. Ain't nobody even write that for you. That was fire.
Write that down. Well, thank you as always, Jermell. Always a pleasure. Guys, make sure you tune in to the new season of Smart Dumb Podcast and catch up on seasons 1 through 4 everywhere that podcasts are available. Yeah. I almost said sold. That's not right.
Yeah, I'm not.
Everywhere podcasts are streaming.
I like that energy. Somebody buy my podcast. Like, I'm still gonna do it, but like, yeah.
Yeah, still buy it. Still buy into it by listening and following on social media. We'll put all the links below, and we will see you guys next time.
Absolutely. Thanks again. Thanks for having me. Hey, looking forward to having you as a guest in said season 5 upcoming.
I'm ready, Coach. Put me in, Coach. I'm ready. Thanks, guys. See you.